New and beginning filmmakers, videographers, and photographers. This, which you can buy and comes with some kit with your $1,000 or $2,000 camera, is not a tripod. It sucks. Everything's plastic. It will strip out. It will not hold your camera. It will fall down. It will not get you the shots you want. So just don't do this. These are, I don't know, it costs them about $1 to make, and this will break on you. I don't care if you mount your iPhone on here or a giant camera. This is gonna break, you're gonna ruin your equipment, and you don't want this. Like, just woo, see you later. So let's look at some real tripods. I'm gonna use as an example this iFootage Gazelle TA6. It's a newer tripod on the market. These guys, iFootage, make a whole bunch of tripods. They're not cheap, but I want to show you the difference between that piece of absolute crap and a high quality tripod. Now, the moment you get your hands on this, you're gonna regret any other tripod that you've put your hands on. Every single part on this is metal, depending on what model you get, carbon fiber. This one is aluminum. Every single part on this is highly machined, highly toleranced metal. There is not a single piece of plastic on this entire unit. We have the bottom, which are rubber feet. That's not plastic, and everything else is metal. The only thing on this unit that is plastic is this little guy right here. You might be wondering what this guy is. Well, it has to be plastic to come on and on. They've included, not that this would happen, but many of these tripods have all sorts of different screws and things like that. They usually Loctite them down. They usually use special bolts. But as you use this year after year, these may come loose. This little thing they've included, which is ingenious and I've never seen on a tripod. They usually include extra Allen wrenches or a bag of something. This guy just fits in these screws right here and allows you to tighten up anything that may have become untight. Stick this back on the tripod and you're not gonna lose this thing. In freaking genius. It has a center column, which simply a half-turn twist, lift the center column up, and now you've gained at least 1.5 feet on your tripod. That's going nowhere. Now, certainly you want to watch out for this. This particular tripod, you mount all this gear on here, and now you're messing with the legs and trying to get the camera in the position you want. All you do is unscrew this. This is a tilting area. There's a level here. Once you get your camera positioned the right way, again, a 1/4 turn, that's going nowhere, and that's going to hold your gear. It makes it really easy for getting the shots all framed and positioned the way you want them to. Now, this is actually quite an ingenious design. You have this center pole here, and now the tripod is locked at this position. You want to possibly get this thing a lot lower, maybe like a grounder if you've ever seen a grounder. All you do is you unscrew this bottom, and this entire unit comes out. And if you pay really close attention here, on here they have those unlock like that. That's how the legs lock in. When you unlock these legs, they go up like that. What that gives you is about a tripod which you can lay. It gives you about a 4 or 5 inch on the ground. And that way you can really get those low ground looking up shots or feet shots or whatever using this exact same tripod. When you're done, it's a matter of putting the legs back and you're ready to go. If you do want to lift the centerpiece, this all still works. It's keyed. You screw it back in, and you're ready to go. As I said, everything on this is metal, including the springs, including the clamps, and these adjustable tabs. They are super smooth to pull up, super smooth to pull out, and super smooth to lock down, and they really hold the tripod in place. I've had something like 20 pounds on this with no problem. At the bottom, of course, we have these rubber feet. They're good so they don't mar floors, and they hold the tripod steady on smooth surfaces. As with any tripod, you can move up the rubber foot, and you have this pin, which will actually pin into the ground and will also hold your tripod steady. Now again, this is a larger pin, the screws are smooth, and everything about this just screams high machined quality. As I mentioned with the grounder, you can get about 2 to 3 inches off the ground, which is fantastic. The full extended of this particular tripod legs out, the extender all the way up, which by the way, this is really sturdy and unlike any extender I've seen before that moves around a bit. I'm 5'10", so you're looking at about, I mount my camera on here, you're looking at my lens sitting up here, about 6 foot for sure. I would say a 6 foot, a little over 6 foot for a shot. So anything between 5 inches on the ground to about 6 foot up, this tripod's gonna handle it. Now weight-wise, I'll put the specs up. I don't remember what the specification is for how much this will hold. I've put a lot of weight on here. We'll check this out. I just grabbed that, lifted my feet off the ground, and so that is actually supporting 120 pounds. Okay, it's 165. Now, any tripod should come with a high quality bag. The thing I like about this particular bag is it's really waterproof, it's really sturdy, and when you stick your tripod in here, it actually has these, you can't see those, it has Velcro strips. So when you place the tripod in the bag, you Velcro them up. You don't have those bags where you're walking around and this tripod is going all over the place. It's secure in here and works well. When you pull the tripod out of the bag, you just take the bag and you just hook the bag onto the hook below here on this leveler stick up here. It gives you a place to place the bag. You can also fill the bag with sandbags, rocks, whatever, which will give more stability to the tripod, which you don't really need. Or you can just go ahead and grab and place sandbags onto this hook. Again, not a plastic hook, not cheap, thick metal. That's not going to break, it's not going to come off, and it's going to hold whatever you put on there. It's excellent. On the top of the head, we have this little level. Now, again, it's made out of metal, it's machined, it's tight, it doesn't move around. Obviously, the level itself is plastic or glass. The only thing about this level really isn't positioned. If I mount my rig on top of this or my camera on top of this, I can sort of see this level. It's a little bit hard, but that's fine. If you can see it, fine. If you got a larger rig, usually you have a level on it or you have a level on your camera screen automatically to level your thing. I'd say it works. I'd say I wouldn't necessarily consider buying or not buying a tripod because it had a level or not on it. But I must say, they do have a level on it, and it's high quality. Now, personally, I went with the flat mount. I love flat mounts, and I was surprised that I not only got a flat mount so I can just put my rig on here or my camera on here. I love the fact that I not only have a flat mount, but then the angle is adjustable like I've showed you. It has a screw right here for you to mount, a rubber coating on top that you pull off. Again, no big deal, but it just shows quality. Highly machined screw. And this pad here, usually when you get these tripods or whatever, you get these pads on here and you can easily grab the edge, easily peel this off. A couple of mountings, 10, 20, 30 mountings, this thing starts sticking to your rig or camera. This thing, it ain't coming off. I don't know, maybe in a couple of years, I've tried peeling this up with my fingernail and it just ain't going anywhere. I really appreciate that touch. Now, I want you to notice something about a quality tripod. Now listen with your ears. Do you hear that? No, you don't. You get these cheaper tripods, you pick them up and you shake them and you hear rattles and things moving around and everything else. This thing's tight. Now it is all metal. There's a lot on here. And you would expect, like some of the other tripods I have, that these things are heavy. Now again, this thing is stable. It's not going anywhere, and you would expect that with a lot of weight. That's one finger. This thing is super light, which makes it ideal. It supports the camera, it supports the weight, yet it's super light. So when you're trekking this thing through the forest with your camera or whatever, and you have this thing with you, you're not going to be sitting there lugging along and having a real problem taking this out on a shoot. In fact, if I go out on a shoot and I need a tripod, I'm going to grab this one. It's stable, it's high quality, it's not going to fail. Everything is aluminum, so it doesn't matter if I'm out in wet conditions or not. It's not going to rust, and it's really light. Here's another thing that you don't see on low quality tripods or many tripods at all. There is a highly machined tap right here, right into this block of aluminum, which is part of this thing right here. If you need to mount monitors or sound devices or whatever you want, instead of mounting it on top of your camera with the weight, instead of having that jiggle around or whatever, you can mount that to this sturdy area right here on this tripod, and rest assured that while you're messing with whatever it is, let's say it's a monitor or something like that, that you're not going to be sitting here touching the camera. So it really gives you an opportunity to adjust things and play with things while filming and keep a stable shot up on the camera. It's the stupidest little thing, but I think it's brilliant. Again, this thing screams quality and precision machining. Look at these screws that are attached to the pivot point of this. They have an Allen screw. The darn screws themselves are labeled. They're iFootage type screws. These have been custom machined and labeled. Not that having labels on your screw is a big deal, but what it shows is that they really took the time, spent the money to do something that was high quality. They're not doing these screws because they think it's gonna market to other people their little screws. It's just a good touch, good engineering, and it really gives you the feeling that this thing is just made to last. Now, certainly the next thing you're gonna wonder is, well, where is the head? Where's the thing that is up here where you have the camera and it moves around and everything else? They certainly have a ton of high quality heads you can order, and I would check them out, or you can buy your own head. I have a bunch of heads that I use. I think it's the 701 and the 502 or 503 from Manfrotto. And I love them both. I'll put some links to their heads and to heads that I recommend and have used for years and still work. The thing is you're buying the quality tripod. You can slap whatever head you want on here. Research the tripod, find out what works for you, find out the quality things that you need, then go out and find the head you need, the size of head, big, small. Does it have quick release plates? Does it have all those things that you need? And then buy that head and simply mount it here. And you're good to go. Now, if you're sitting there and you're gonna shoot with your iPhone, some little B-roll shots or something for your episodes, and you do a couple of those and it's occasional, would you buy this tripod for that? You could. You'll be happy with it and you'll love the feel of this. I wouldn't recommend it. If you do have a camera and you start, even with a smaller camera, you start adding, cages, you start adding maybe a battery, and oh yeah, I should add audio, and you start building this rig up for on the go or outside shooting, you absolutely would be totally pleased with having this particular tripod. If you are going to buy a quality tripod, Make sure it has all the features I've mentioned. Make sure it has all the features that you need now and in the future. Make sure it's a quality built item so you're not buying some piece of yuck that will damage your equipment or just make you mad every time. And do I recommend this for you? I absolutely do. Do your research, check out the tripods. If you're in the market for a great tripod, check this one out. Now, I'm sure a bunch of people may come by and say, well, why didn't you compare this to the Benro and the Manfrotto and the this and the that and the other tripod and the other 65 billion tripods that are made out there? I didn't because A, I don't have all those tripods. B, this would be 14-hour-long video. And C, this tripod works for me. It has all the features I want. It has all the options I want. I know it's going to last forever. I know it's going to be stable. I know it's going to hold my equipment. And I know it's really light, so I can carry it with me. And that's why. Check out all the other tripods, but now you have a gauge. When you're looking at these tripods, compare it to all the things I went over on this iFootage tripod. And I think you'll see why these tripods do cost as much as they do. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell to get your videos at least once a week. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Specification is, woo, see you later. Specification is, and you're ready to go. Specification is, specification is, specification is